It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends and ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to jump on the gigantic Sharp Interactive board. Brother's first 9 months of FY23. The numbers are in. If I told you all that Brother is beating two well-known OEMs in the industrial print space, you would all say, what? What if I told you now, not only are they beating these two well-known OEMs in the industrial print space, but they're beating them if you add the revenue of both of those OEMs together. And they're beating them by over $160 million in revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother bought a company called Domino, and Domino did $535 million for the first 9 months of FY 2023. And that is $160-something million more than both Konica Minolta and Ricoh did combined revenue in their industrial print space for the same period of time. You know, Brother's doing some interesting things. When I think about Brother and they kicked off the Workhorse product, they want to come into the marketplace with robust A4 to replace those oversold and overspec'd A3s in businesses all across the world. And they're getting some momentum doing that. But when I think about the revenue that Brother does right now in the Printing Solutions Group, and you compare what they're doing in the Printing Solutions Group with the amount of revenue that Konica Minolta does in the Office Group for them, which is their print business, is pretty amazing. But ladies and gentlemen, when you really start looking at the math, and you really start thinking about where this industry's going, I think Brother's in a really good place. Because we all know the industry in the office is going to what? A4s with less parts. We also know that in those offices, they're printing less. That's a fact. So the industry, in fact, is going away from overspeccing and overselling A3. Just because a lot of the OEMs in the industry don't want to admit that, and they're still jamming that product out in the marketplace, sooner or later the marketplace is going to say, enough, we're done. And they're going to go to the equipment that satisfies their needs for today's environment. When I think about the industrial print space, I think about inkjet technology changing the world. It's not about printing on documents. Industrial print and the future of industrial print is about inkjet technology allowing you to print on a lot of things. And currently right now, Brother has some phenomenal, really high-end industrial label printing machines. And the revenue that they're producing from that business is phenomenal in comparison to both Ricoh and Konica. And that should be pointed out. So without any further ado, let's jump on the board. I'll share some more thoughts. Top line revenue for Brother is $4 billion. Operating profit is $406 million, 10%. Putting the pen down, congratulations, Brother. 10% operating profit. Let's look at their business units. Folks, they didn't have one business unit in all of Brother that lost money. The P&S business group, Printing Solutions. $2.5 billion in top-line revenue for the first 9 months. Operating profit of $326.2 million. 13%. I got to put the pen down again. 13%. Ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time either Konica Minolta or Ricoh brought 13% operating profit in their printing business? Does anybody remember? Look at the Domino business. That's the industrial print business for Brother. $535.2 million in that business unit. Operating profit, 4.7%, $25.3 million. Could they get more operating profit? Sure they could. But they literally did over $160 million more in industrial printing than Konica Minolta and Ricoh combined. Ladies and gentlemen, this slide shows some of the equipment, and I want to get into a little bit of details here because I think this is a big story. And I don't think our industry really realizes how heavily involved Brother with this Domino business this business they bought, how heavily involved they are in this high-end industrial printing. So before we get there, let's talk about their Printing Solutions business group. They did $2.5 billion, had an operating profit of $326 million, 13%. It's off the charts. Think about our friends at Konica Minolta in their office business. Just their office business at Konica Minolta was $2.6 billion. Basically the same amount of revenue as Brother. The difference is, at Konica Minolta, what is that business? It's oversold, overspec'd A3s, right? It's where the market used to be. It's not where the market's going. You think about Brothers, $2.5 billion. Where is that? That's in the Soho, and that's in the business with their work horse machines. But at the end of the day, that's where business print's going, right? We're not going to get bigger A3s for the office. We're going to take A3s and replace them with A4s. So the question that Konica should be asking, the question that Ricoh should be asking, and all the OEMs should be asking, is how much of our A3 business is going to go away to A4? How much of that $2.6 billion can Brother get from Konica? How much can they get from the MFPs that are being sold at Ricoh? All the friends out there, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Brother's going where the marketplace is going in the industrial space and in the office space. Let's look at this Domino business, $535.2 million. Let's look at their products. Ladies and gentlemen, these are phenomenal inkjet presses. Look at this. These are huge. You should go to the Domino website, look this company up. It's amazing. Okay? I'm thinking to myself, how many of us have seen these social media posts by both Konica, Minolta, and Ricoh, where you see the big, Konica roll-fed press, the Ricoh roll-fed press. Wouldn't it be nice if they actually were delivered revenues with those? They should tell you the revenue. At the end of the day, look at the math. Ricoh, $193.4 million in their industrial print space for the first 9 months of FY23. Konica Minolta, 175. Where's that number at? 175.2 million in their industrial print. Brother is outperformed them by over 160 million in the same time period. And yet most of our industry probably doesn't even know that Brother owns a company called Domino and that Brother's in high-end inkjet label printing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, our industry's going to change. Thomas Edison said there's no substitute for hard work. Brother, keep working hard. Let me ask you all a question. Does anybody remember Brother bragging daily about awards? Seriously. Most of us don't even know they're in that space, and they're outperforming Konica, Minolta, and Ricoh, both together. And when I think about some of these other folks, Konica, Minolta, and Ricoh, they like to brag a lot. They like to get the awards. Here's an award I just bought. Let me plaster it all over the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, hard work. That's what it takes. Not only does it take hard work, but it helps when you have products that are built for the future. A future that's rapidly advancing towards today. And Brother's in a pretty good position. Let's look at the consolidated balance sheet. The only thing I don't like about Brother's consolidated balance sheet is their goodwill and intangibles are a pretty high percentage of their assets. It's 13%. Let's get it down to 5 or 7%, Brother. But boy, their asset to equity ratio, 75.86%. Only 24% of their assets are encumbered. Compared to Konica Minolta, 62% of their assets are encumbered. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother is a well-run company, a profitable company, a company that has products for the future, and the future showing up today. Let's look at their cost of sales. I think this is interesting. Over at Brother, the cost of sales is 56%. Over at Konica Minolta, the cost of sales is 57%. Pretty close. But the selling and general expenses, that's where the big difference is. Konica Minolta, 42% of their revenue in selling and general expenses. Brother, 33%. These OEMs that are trying to get into all this stuff, IT services, build these massive direct operations, do all this crazy stuff, at the end of the day, the selling expenses are killing them. And they're going to have to reevaluate those strategies. The OEMs are also going to have to evaluate the strategy of products. Do they want to have products designed for the future? Or do they want to continue to try to deliver the past to the future? Because that doesn't work. It'll be those organizations like Brother and some of the other folks out in the marketplace that understand the value of A4. And Brother, let me just wrap it up with this. You got to get aggressive and go after those Lexmark placements. Lexmark is, well, they're having some issues. We all know the issues they're having. And Brother, you got to get aggressive and go into the marketplace and take that business. You have the products right now that can take the Lexmark business. Go take it. Brother, you're suited. You got the products. You can go into the marketplace and really cause some havoc. The problem is you got to be willing to do it, and you got to fight for it. But I'll tell you one thing right now. I was pretty impressed with the fact that you completely are annihilating Konica, Minolta, and Ricoh in the industrial print space. Keep up the great work, and everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.